Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Wealth Warrior broadcast. My name is Brent Harding, and I have the privilege of serving you every week on the broadcast. Today is a great day because it's Saturday and I'm with you. I want to start off by welcoming you to the show. Want to let you know that this morning you got Brent Harding. Pamela Stone, our co-host, sends her regards and she wishes she could be here. And she says good morning and success to everyone that is on and listening to the broadcast this morning. What is our show about today? Our show is about who is on your power team. That's right. Who's on your power team? Do you have a power team? Is it time to change people that are on your power team? Let me give you the lineup for today. First and foremost, as far as calendar events are concerned, I'm going to ask you to go to the feed to take a look at what's new in the calendar events. We're going to be talking about the topic, who is in your power team or who is on your power team. We anticipate having a guest speaker in, or rather having a spotlight and having an entrepreneur on the spotlight. Also, we are going to have some hot topics. What is hot for entrepreneurs and wealth? And then final announcements, and we're going to call it a wrap. Okay, so first and foremost, calendar of events. Please take a look at what's happening on the calendar of events. I will tell you here in the Boston area on Thursday evening, this coming Thursday evening, we are going to have game night in Boston. Come out and mix and mingle with individuals that are talking about wealth. We're using a specific business model in a high tech industry. We want to talk about that. So you want to connect with people because you know what? It's time to change our circles. You want to be involved with people that want to talk about wealth. People that don't mind talking about the zeros that follow that one and a comma. And you're able to do that at the Best Western Adams Inn, 29 Hancock Street in Boston. You'll be able to go up onto my Wealth Warrior Works. Rephrase that. You'll be able to go up onto my personal Facebook page as well as the Wealth Warrior page to get details about Thursday evening. I'm going to encourage everybody, when you are planning out your week, you want to go up to Eventbrite. You want to go up to Meetup. Look at what is going on, what events that you can attend. In fact, I encourage everybody, there ought to be one day in the week as entrepreneurs, people that have the flexibility to have a list of all the things you're going to do. If you do not have appointments to grow your business, to turn the green, then you want to be out there networking to cultivate the relationships that turn to green. And so I'm going to encourage you to do that this week. In fact, when the broadcast is done, I'm going to be checking my personal calendar to figure out where else I should be at for this upcoming week. In fact, for the next couple of weeks, because that is a part of the business. And especially if you are a person that has a home-based business, because sometimes we do not get out of our own space, and it's critical to get out of your space and interact with other individuals. With that being said, and the calendar being complete, what is the topic for today? Why did I come up with this topic? Well, for a couple of reasons. First of all, as I said, sometimes you got to be a Larry King alive. You got to spin and pivot when it's necessary. Matar sends his regards. He had to fly out for an emergency to California, and he sends his regards. He will be back to finish part 2 of structuring your business. That allowed me to step in with an opportunity to discuss who and what is power team. So let me start off with the what and the why. The what is a power team are people that are your go-tos. They are people that you are surrounded by that serve a purpose and a reason, and they augment you. And an example is Matar is an attorney that's part of your power team. Now, why? Because we cannot be experts at everything. We try. We're going to go to this class and that class. We're going to binge watch videos. We're going to binge watch YouTube. We're going to binge watch to learn something. Stop. It is not necessary for us to know everything. And I'll tell you, I have learned the hard ways. I know 1,000 ways not to do things. And I want to save you from yourself as somebody saved me from myself. We need to, I'll tell you what, if I learned nothing from watching Law and Order, the one thing I have learned, I need to call my attorney. If you have learned nothing from watching that show, that's the first thing you learn is I need to call my attorney. Why? Because we are governed, no matter what state we live in, we're governed by a set of laws, rules, and regulations. We do not need to know everything, but we need to know how to make a phone call to somebody that does know what we need to know. And the interesting thing is, you may have different attorneys for different activities. When I owned a mortgage brokering firm, I kid you not when I say that I literally had 5 attorneys on retainer. What? Yes, because you have them on for certain purposes and reason. For example, Matad Douche, we're talking to him about what? About business structure. So when it comes to the business, and how our business is going to be structured and where we're going to take it. We might start off as a sole proprietor, and then we're going to carry it up and we're going to move along the way. You remember him mentioning that is we do not necessarily need to start out as an S Corp or a C Corp or an LLC or an LLP. We may not need to start that way. We may graduate in predicated on the revenue that we generate. So we have a counsel. We have a general counsel, a person that has expertise in several areas that can point us in the right direction. We have our legal counsel for our business structure. We might have a specific counsel when it comes to trust that we're setting up, the family trust. We might have someone that handles that. So the first person that I'm going to suggest that's going to be on your counsel, that's going to be on that power team, and get comfortable with that word. Get comfortable with the 2 words, rather. Get comfortable with I have a power team. Hashtag power team. Why? Because it raises you the bar. It raises you up. You are surrounded by individuals that you can point to when you need something. Because a lot of times we just don't know what we don't know. First person on that power team, your legal counsel. Who's the second person that you can think of that needs to be on your power team? That's right, the tax professional. That's the second person that needs to be on your power team. Why? Because every bit of wealth is about how much you can hold on to. Isn't that always true? How much can you hold on to? That tax preparer, that tax professional, excuse me, let me rephrase that. The tax professional, not the tax preparer, the tax professional. You're talking about creating wealth. We're no longer dealing with the tax preparer. We're dealing with a tax professional. No disrespect intended. We are heading in a direction. We're changing the circle. And part of that is, who is my tax professional? Who knows the story? Who has the expertise? For example, you have some money that you are taking out of a structure. You're taking it out of your 401k. You're taking it out of your 403b. You're taking it out of your deferment. You're taking it out of wherever. The tax professional helps you to manage risk. See, I'm a risk taker. I'm going to take some money out. I am going to figure out, when do I need to put it back in? Or I'm going to figure out, will I have enough tax deductions to offset any penalties? because there might be penalties involved. You know, when you take money out of a structure, especially a retirement structure, you know, that becomes revenue. That becomes not revenue, but becomes income that's added to your bottom line. And that can be some incredibly costly money. So you've got to balance it out. That means there's got to be a person in your corner that is a virtual calculator of information. Yeah, you can afford to do that because of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What expenses am I going to have that's going to offset this? Because I need the money when? Now. And if I need it now and I'm trying to minimize the tax burden, then I need somebody in my corner that speaks the language, that understands that, especially when you are an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, an entrepreneur. You are in business for yourself. And a lot of times we figure, hey, Brent, I'm just a small solopreneur. And so I don't want to spend the money. Let me tell you something. When you spend the money with that tax professional, just as you spend the money with the attorney, oftentimes, you get what you pay for. We get what we pay for. Now, we might need to graduate up, but we've got to have people in our corner. This is the power team. These are the people that surround you. They are your partners for your success. Because guess what? Your success, our success, is their success also. Powerful. Absolutely, unequivocally powerful. So far, we have 2 people that are on our team for success. One is the attorney, and it may be that you have more than one attorney. You might have, again, 2, 3 attorneys. Why? Because you need certain expertises. Okay. You have the tax preparer, and I was fortunate, and I'm actually returning to a person that was not only a CPA, he had expertise or has expertise with small business. He has expertise in one of my areas of focus, network marketing. He's also a tax attorney. Wow, tax attorney and a CPA and a tax professional. Now, does he cost? Yes, he does. However, I have seen returns that have made it worth every dime that I've spent. Because you've got to know whether you need to file a Schedule C. You might have a couple of Schedule Cs. Maybe you have a Schedule E. You've got to know Schedule A. You've got to know how those work. That is number 2. Now, before we continue on down the list of our power team, we got to do something. We got to let the world know, at least the world that's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We need to let the world know that we're talking power team today. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a countdown, and we're going to have a shout out to Twitter. Are you ready? And all we want to say is meet us at Wealth Warriors on Facebook. Meet us at Wealth Warriors on Facebook. Meet us at Wealth Warriors on Facebook. Or you could just say, go to Wealth Warriors when? Now. So on the count of 3, I want to give you a few seconds to hit the fingers to the keyboard. And I want you to go to Twitter. And we're going to do a flash mob on Twitter. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. So you've written out what you're going to say. On the count of 3, we're going to start with 1, 2, and at 3, we're going to flash mob. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Flash mob! Hit that enter button now! Absolutely. We want to invite people on because what we're talking about is important. This is cool and imperative stuff. Why? Because wealth is what we're talking about. We want to measure the bottom line. What is our net worth? And our net worth starts with our power team. In fact, I am reading a book, reading a book about, and going back and rereading because we're measuring ourselves. And Even before we get started, it says you must have a power team. It says you must have a power team. And so, in order to have that power team, I'm saying to you that it does, in fact, begin with the attorney and it's followed up by your tax professional. So, who's the next person on your list? Are you ready for this? The insurance agent. What? Brent, insurance? Yes, insurance. Do you have errors and omissions insurance? Do you have a policy for that right now? Do you have a professional liability policy? If in fact you are a solopreneur, you're a home-based business, do you know that your conventional homeowners insurance or your renter's insurance does not cover you? Yeah. Wake up call. And it's a wake up. I have talked to so many individuals who do not have professional liability insurance, who do not have a errors and omissions insurance. Well, Brent, I am a corporation. I don't need to have that. You've got your corporation that's protected. How much are you protected? Because when people go about the business of suing, believe you me, they're hitting lottie-dottie and everybody. Why? Because they are going to have a catch net. If they can't catch it here, then they're going to catch it here or they're going to catch it here. Remember this, and we have learned this from our real estate professionals, and that is when there is a slip and fall, when there is a car crash, when there is something of that nature, what does the attorney do first? Goes to the registry of deeds and looks to see if you, in fact, have some property because they're going after the property. It's one of our greatest assets. That means we need to protect ourselves, and we call it belt and suspenders. Just because you got the belt on doesn't mean the pants will not fall. Put the suspenders on to ensure that it's not going to happen. And there are various types of insurances. We need insurance that covers us and contingent, especially upon the industry that you're in. You would not believe this. In the travel industry, you want to have professional liability insurance because in certain countries, you can be held liable for the expense of that client. I'll tell you what, in Canada, you must have it. In Canada, you mess up, you do not tell your client that there are certain things that they need, and you can be held liable to $25,000 for that mistake, for forgetting. That's why in Canada, they're signing off on everything. On everything. They want to ensure that it has been taken care of. So you need an insurance policy or policies that cover your business. Then, do you have insurance that covers you in case there is an illness? Do you know that there is a living insurance policy? And I want every single one of us to know about that. If something happens to you, there's a policy that will pay you. Will pay you. I've seen the checks that will pay you when you are not able to do for yourself. And no, I'm not talking about the big A. I'm talking about something else. In fact, we're going to have a couple of individuals on here that are going to talk about insurances and the differences between them. Do you have insurance to cover you in case of death? Do you have insurance that's going to take care of your family? There are different types of insurance. You may have an insurance policy that has riders to it. That's why there has to be an agent that's on your power team. So we're at 3. We've got the attorney. We've got the tax preparer. We've got the insurance agent. Now, here's a question for you. Is it time to change those individuals? They're not lifelong. They can be. Sometimes we don't change because we say, oh, that person already knows my story. I don't want to have to start from the beginning, or I don't want to have to do all that all over again. Oh my. Sometimes we need to change because we have grown. It's like changing circles. We have grown and we might have outgrown that professional. They may not be able to serve the purpose we need now. Do not be afraid. Embrace the change because sometimes it is actually necessary to bid them a fond farewell and appreciate the process, appreciate the growth, appreciate what happened to you that caused that change to be needed. That is powerful. That is incredibly powerful. So go ahead and embrace it. Here's another one. Do you have a coach? What's the difference between a coach and a mentor? Do you need both? I'm going to submit to us that we do actually need both. Why, Brent? Well, let me start off with something that's really fundamental. What is the definition of a coach? What is the definition of a mentor? A coach is a person that shows you the plays in real time. They are showing you what needs to happen now. They've got the playbook and they are able to work with you, script to the playbook. Now, what type of, first of all, does that make sense? Is everybody getting that? Let me then move over to the mentor, and then I'm going to come back and talk about the types of. The mentor is generally someone that is older, that is progressive, that has already been where you've been. So they are able to talk to you about the landmines, what you're going to encounter. And actually, that moves me to a third person that we oftentimes do not think about, and that is an accountability partner. So I've just hit you with 3 individuals. So when you're looking at that power team, you are surrounded by a lot of people. Yeah, you are. So let me come back to the coach. There are different types of coaches. There are people that are personal coaches versus people that are coaches for a specific need that you have versus a generalist. Probably the most challenging element to the coach is what type of coach do you need? For example, I'm going to submit to you, having utilized coaches, having paid for coaches, that you need a coach. Okay, I'm going to be just transparent and say, in my opinion, and this is only in Brent Harding's opinion, you need a coach that knows your industry. I've dealt with the generalist coach, and I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the feed that's going to say, hey, Brent, that's not fair. I'm willing to submit that that isn't fair. I'm speaking only of my opinion, and in my humble opinion, I do believe you need a coach that understands the nuances of your industry, that knows your industry, and is able to shortcut and short circuit so that you can get the resolve that you're looking for. That's what I'm going to submit to you. I'm going to submit that somebody that's a coach that has never been in the mortgaging industry. No. I'm going to submit to you that I do not believe that they are going to be able to coach you in the manner in which you need to be coached. I'll say that about the network marketing industry. I do not believe somebody that does not have that background. I'll go toe to toe and say, I do not believe that. Now, do I believe that you can have a personal life coach? And there are some awesome people out there. If you need one, I am sure there's somebody that's going to be in our feed and our community that's going to be able to serve that purpose for you. You need a coach for your industry because the coach is going to give you the plays, is going to look at your playbook, and is going to help you infuse what you need to give you trajectory. A coach will sometimes say to you, This is totally not the right move, but they're going to supply you with documentation that's going to support what they are saying. And then it becomes a choice for you. A coach, real time, Belichick, real time, mentor. I have a great mentor. I do believe I'm looking for mentors that are at least 20 years older than me. Why? Because I strongly believe they have the life skills. Not only do they have the experience, they have the life skills. They are at another place. And I'm looking for that person that is at another place and yet is able to reach back and help bring me forward. Sometimes one of the beauties of a mentor is they're going to help you understand, are you in the right place in the right industry? Have you burned yourself out? Is there no place else for you to go? They are the ones that are going to say it's time to change your circle. It's time for you to take an assessment of what you are doing. Now, admittedly, the majority of the people that watch this broadcast are hashtag first generation wealth babies, hashtag I am a first generation wealth baby, hashtag I am a lady warrior. They are going to be individuals that do not have the wealth yet. We are growing this thing together. If in fact you are more advanced, then phenomenal. I will tell you that I met with a digital marketer this past week, and one of the things that I appreciated that he said to me is, are you measuring yourself month to month? Have you increased your viewership on the broadcast? Have you increased the individuals that are following you? Have you increased? Is there an increase? Is it measurable that says that this makes sense for me to continue? You know what oftentimes happens to us is we stay in the game too long. And when you stay in the game too long, when you've hit the crescendo, or the game may be it is not working for you, do we know how to exit and recreate? Do we know how to pivot? Now, some would say, well, Brent, I haven't done it long enough. Some of us have ego. Some of us have such determination. I'm going to make it in this. One of the powers of the mentor is that they are able to stand back and objectively look at it and say, you might want to reconsider. You know, sometimes in order to open up that new door, we got to be willing to close the door behind us. Would you not agree? Open, that means we had to have closed it. Sometimes we get so many ideas, we're just running in all directions. And you know what the bottom line is? It's the dollar sign. Did your bank account increase? And if it's not increasing, then we need to do an assessment, and a mentor helps with the assessment. See, the coach is in the play. It's whatever you're doing right now. He or she is in the play. However, the mentor is looking at the broad base. And that brings me to the accountability partner. The accountability partner is the person you report into every week, that you either are getting the check marks that say good job, or you're on the wall of shame this week because you didn't get it done. Sometimes we try to avoid that person. That person is an asset to us. And I want to thank my accountability partner, Josh, because there are times when I'm off the ropes, when I'm on the hall of shame instead of the hall of fame. They are there. They're an asset to us. An accountability partner is generally somebody it's not going to cost you to have them. They are willing to do that for you because they want to see for your success as well. The coach is generally someone that's their business. So we are going to be paying the coach. The mentor, that can fluctuate depending on how old they are, depending on if they're retired, depending on the relationship. Important people. We've talked about these four. Now, Some might say, well, hey, Brent, you know what? We've been down this road before. You're right. That was last year. This is a new year. It's a new day. It's a new time. Have you grown? Have you actually gone out and gotten these individuals? Because we talked about it. Did you take action? Did you take action? Because this today is a call for action. Hit the call for action button and do it. So, who is the fifth person on your power team? I'm going to submit to you that the fifth person on your power team is going to be your banker, your financer, your credit person, somebody that is watching your dollars while you watch your dollars, somebody that's able to get you access to money. Now, you might have different pools. For example, you might have gotten an SBA loan, you might have gotten a this, you might have gotten a that, you might have gotten the other. The banker is the one that you're reconciling with, that you're able to see the dollars grow in your account. Because, see, everybody else is pulling money. And the banker helps you to keep on point with your budget. Now, you say, well, what's the difference between the tax professional and the banker? The banker is real time on a more oftentimes basis. They're looking at your dollars coming in and your dollars going out. Your tax professional is looking at your liability more often than anything else. So again, these are people, and it's contingent upon your profession. So, for example, if you are in the real estate industry, you're going to need a real estate attorney. You're going to need a title company. You're going to need bird dogs. You're going to need other individuals. These people are the basics for you. They are your basic individuals that it is a necessity to have them. Now, the sixth person on your power team is the secret weapon. They are the person, they're your ambassadors. They are the people that speak your name. We know about ambassadors right now because we're watching the political climate. They are the people that will say the things that you cannot say. Because, see, when we tout our own horn, or toot or tout, whichever you prefer, when we do that, we then are seen as egotistical. We then are seen as the person, the person that wants to emulate themselves. We want to be the expert. We do not want to be seen as the person that's blowing their own horn, but at the same time, we still do have to blow our own horns. And so we need ambassadors. We need bird dogs, people that are looking for business for us, people that are willing, ready, willing, and able to speak our names with fondness. Such a critical component. We need those individuals. We need to cultivate the relationships with the people that will, in fact, speak well about our name and ourselves. Yeah, we do need those individuals. That's the sixth person or persons that we need. The seventh is not so much a person, although you could call it a person, and that is either an advisory board or a personal board of directors. Why? Because we do not know everything. We just don't. We need people that can surround us on a measured time frame that can speak wisdom into us. You say, well, wait a minute, Brent, I've already got the coach and the mentor. Yes. Now, an advisory board usually is for a short term, and they are ready, willing, and able, and they're usually at no charge. Sweet. Versus a board of directors, and generally a board of directors is associated with our business structure. And in that regard, When we start off with a board of directors that's at no charge. And then there comes a point in time when they may receive something as a result of our growth. Wow. That's deep, isn't it? That's heavy, isn't it? A power team. That's what they are. They are the power behind us. They're the people that got our backs. That is a heavy duty team. One more time before we move on and segue in. The attorney covers us legally so that we don't have issues, problems, or concerns. The tax professional ensures that we keep the money. Right now, what's up? The tax rate, the federal tax rate, contrary to popular belief, is 36.9%. That's the general tax rate. Now, I'm going to have to check that one more time because I think I heard it was higher. I think I'm mistaken. I think it's 39.6%. Somebody look that up, please, and put that into a hashtag. Put that into the feed, please. But our tax rate is not a 25% tax rate. We're well in the 30s. The insurance agent helps our liability bottom line. It helps absorb risk. And that's the one thing that we need to be careful of, is absorbing risk. The next, number 4, a coach versus a mentor. I'm going to submit we want a coach, a mentor, and an accountability partner. Do you feel surrounded yet? Are you feeling powerful? Because we want you to feel 100% bulletproof, baby. The next person, your coach and your coach, your creditor, your banker, your creditor, is the person that's watching that bottom line for you while you watch the bottom line. They want to see that money go up. They want to see your bank account grow. They want to see the bank statement go bam. Then you've got your bird dogs. You've got your advocates. You've got your ambassadors. Those are crucial and critical people. And then finally, you've got an advisory board or your board of directors. That is your power team. You ought to be able to have an index card that has who your power team is. Hashtag power team. Hashtag power team, baby. That's what I'm talking about this morning. It is all a part of wealth to increase your bottom line, to turn the tide to green. How's that for you? Awesome. With that being said, we're going to do another flash mob before we switch gears. Want you to put your fingers on the keyboard. And what you want to share with people is, it's not too late, wealth warriors. It's not too late, wealth warriors. Take the fingers, assume the position, and on 3, we're going to hit flash mob and press the enter button. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, enter. Flash mob on the Wealth Warrior broadcast this morning. We are changing gears, and actually, I am going to hit the entrepreneur's spotlight for this morning. I'm going to talk to you about tooting your horn. How can you toot your horn and not be seen? We talked about advocates. We talked about your ambassadors, but how can we do that ourselves? First and foremost, we can do that by understanding our story. Can you tell your story in 2 minutes? And then, where do you tell your story? I got into this industry because what is your story? What is compelling about your story? Are you a rags to riches story? Are you a riches to rags story? I like something Nicole Dublin said once. She said, you know what? I'm just comfortable. So, is your story about being comfortable? And how can we make it compelling that changes our dollar signs, that changes our bank accounts? So, what is your story? I have a story. My story is a riches to rags story. I had it all. And when I tell you I had it all, I shared this. And if I haven't shared it with you, let me share it with you this morning. I remember being so cocky about my story that I went into a store and I remember seeing a backgammon set that I wanted. And it was a leather case pigskin leather. It was gorgeous. And I walked up to the counter and the rep said to me, and it was a rather high-end store. And I said, I'm going to take that. Let's uh, package that up. I'll be back. And I remember her saying to me, do you know how much that costs? I didn't ask you how much it costs. I said, wrap it up. I'll be back. And when I came back, I put down the Diners Club card and I said, do you think that will cover it? That was very cocky, wasn't it? But it's part of my story. What is your story? When I lost it all and I was willing to live out on the street rather than tell anybody that I had lost it all. That becomes a powerful part of my story. What is your story that connects with your buyer, that connects with your audience, that moves them to want to be associated with you, to purchase whatever product you have, to follow you where you're going? What is your story? I didn't include on the power team, but I'm seriously thinking about including on the power team the person or person that is going to put your story in the limelight. We have things like digital marketing. There's some low-end, low-tech things that we can do for ourselves right now, today, this morning. As soon as this broadcast ends, you can hit it, because I'll tell you what, I'm hitting it myself. For example, on our Facebook page, in the About section, do we have our story? I didn't have that, and I don't have it, but I'll tell you what, by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, I'm going to have it. I'm going to write it offline. I am then going to have someone look at that and help me to understand, is it compelling? And if in fact it is compelling, awesome. If it is compelling, absolutely, unequivocally awesome. And then I'm going to put it up there. Now, we've got a personal page. There's an about on that personal page that is different from our business page. So we have to tell the stories. There might be a thread that flows through all of them, but we need to separate the stories. Now, once we've separated the stories, where are we putting our stories? Well, of course, we've talked about Facebook. We want to put it there. How about business to business? Because Facebook is really business to customer, business to client, business to consumer. What about business to business? Is it on our profile on LinkedIn? Is our story compelling? And I'm going to tell you something very powerful with LinkedIn. I believe that you want to write your story offline, because you remember, when you're on LinkedIn, as soon as you make a change, it's posting it. Sometimes that post begins to start to look like dirty laundry, or it looks like a person does not know how to post on LinkedIn. This is business to business. People want to read the complete, not the blow by blow by blow. They're tired. It's like it's like texting. You know what? After the fourth text message, I'm done. Pick up the phone. At we need to talk, because the thumbs just can't keep doing this. This is it. it can become a distraction. So you want to write that story offline. Facebook, LinkedIn, you might tweet out something. You might tweet something that drives a person back to your LinkedIn, that drives a person back to your Facebook to see your compelling story. Press releases are so low tech, and yet they are compelling. Why have a press release going out every 10 days, so 3 a month? Why? There is something that is happening that is newsworthy. And I tell you what, if it's not newsworthy, it's a filler, because oftentimes news is looking for a filler. They need something, and they are willing to fill it up with your news. You never know. You're putting it out there. And on top of it, somebody is going to read it. Even if they don't put it in there, somebody is going to read it. Obviously, you want to get it to the right editor, but you want to start letting folks know. You might want to put it in a spotlight. You're sending it to the spotlight editor. You're sending it to the city editor. You're getting it out there. It is called a press release, and there is enough out there. You know that if it's a weekly newspaper, it's going to post on Thursdays usually, because they're going to catch the end of the week. So you know that you need to have your press release in by noontime on Monday, because they're going to press on Tuesday so it can be distributed on Thursday. You know that if you are going to be in the Sunday paper, you need to have a press release that's out. You need to have something out on Monday so that it makes it into the Sunday paper. So you want to get those press releases out there. And contrary to popular belief, paper is still utilized. People are still reading the papers, more weeklies than dailies, but dailies are still coming out. We want exposure. That's what you and I want, is expose, expose, expose. Do you realize that you could send it to a TV station? TV stations are looking for the fillers as well. Now, actually rephrase that. They're not looking for fillers, they're looking for experts. So you become the expert. Become the expert. Become the expert. You know more about you than anybody else. Know more about what it is, your specialty, that compels them, that says, if you ever need somebody to speak about this, I'm your person. I am your person. Give them some documentation that validates that you are the expert. Use not just your major stations, go to minor stations. How about sending that to the radio station? They are looking for experts. It is an entree point in to change the circle, to get a wider circle. Are we willing to volunteer to be a speaker? These are points that have been brought to my attention that in many instances are off the digital radar. Nonetheless, they are points of exposure, and we want exposure. Are we dedicating some time to our exposure? This is what a publicist would be saying to you. This is what someone in the spotlight would be saying to you. Spotlight. The beauty of this is you are generating that, and with a press release, let your virtual assistant be the point of contact. So you are one step removed. Let the virtual assistant be your surrogate to get that information out there. Let your ambassadors send something to your ambassadors so that they know what should be spoken about this week. What are you doing different that they would want to know about? Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. And we can do that. We need to schedule it and set aside time to be powerful. to be powerful, to expose. In fact, you know when is a great time? Right after this broadcast, to take an hour after the broadcast to shoot all of that stuff out, to get prepared. When I was speaking to the digital marketer, one of the things that he said was we need to have a schedule of information to go out. We need to have a schedule so that and then work on automating the schedule so that we do it one time and it lasts for the entire week. We do it one time, one and what? Done. One and what? Done. That's what we need to be about the business of doing. It becomes absolutely incredible. I've got to share that one with you. And I do apologize that you caught that. That is not something that I would ever want to see us catch. Didn't, sometimes in the studio, it just happens. So I want to share those powerful tools with you. And I hope that you grab something from that. And there should be some hashtag nuggets. You should be writing your press release today. What's new with you that is noteworthy? With that being said, we are going to segue into the next element and what's hot and what's not. Well, I'll tell you what, right now, the hot topics, the really hot topics are what's going to be happening for you in 2017. We have something monumental going on right now. We have a climate right now that is absolutely phenomenal. And what's the climate? The climate is, in fact, what's happening with our politics right now. Our politics are such that, and I'm not saying get into the political scheme, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm actually trying to say to you is the hot topic is, how are you going to protect you? What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is this. Economically, we're going to have a changing of the guard. Whenever there is a changing of the guard, there's nerves, there's nervousness about what's going on in the climate, in our economic climate. We do not want to see a surge and a drop. So my statement for you right now, what's happening and what's trending and what's hot is our economics, our business and personal economics. And if you don't believe me, check out, just hit trend. You are going to see that topic showing up in the trends is how are you going to protect your economy? And it is powerful. We have to protect our personal economy. That is huge in the marketplace. That is the hottest topic going on. And I'll tell you something, with that being said, here is a powerful nugget. If you have creditors that you want to negotiate with, then you need to start preparing yourself now, because November and December are going to be the powerful times for you to negotiate the art of the deal, for you to negotiate the payoff of debt as we go into 2017. They are going, because the climate is going to be so volatile, they are going to want to bring in as much cash as they possibly can. So your creditors are going to want to negotiate with you. I'm not saying do not pay people. We already heard about that this week. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know who I'm talking about. What I'm saying is get prepared to take care of business. That's what I'm talking about. We good with that? That is probably the hottest topic in the business community. And it doesn't matter what circle we're on. Hot topic, we want to hold on to cash. We want to hold on to cash. Why is that? Because 2017 is upon us. Remember the bell curve? Remember we talked about the bell curve? Guess what? Real estate is at its height right now. And we are getting ready to hit another form stage. And at the cusp between 2018 and 2019, excuse me, is that right? Yeah. Between 2018 and 2019, You are going to want to have cash because real estate is going to be king and you're going to want to buy. And I'll tell you what, cash buyers get the deals. Cash buyers, when somebody can see it like this, cash buyers get the deal. Enough said. Hot topics, hot topics, hot topics. Let's move into final announcements. I just learned. I am so excited. I just learned I am going to not only be an ambassador for the She and He Speaks in Atlanta, Georgia, July 29th through the 31st. Not only am I going to be an ambassador, but I will be a speaker. Talk about exposure. That's what I'm talking about. Exposure. I am so excited. I'm between two topics. I'm passionate and excited about both of them. And to that end, I'm asking you, the audience, to come and be a part of the She and He Speaks, to be a part of experiencing Destiny's Destinations. I am so excited about that. And I'd love to have you with me in Atlanta, Georgia. In fact, you will meet Pamela in Atlanta, Georgia. Ms. Stone is going to be there with me, and it is going to be awesome. It is going to be the event of the season for business owners. This is where you make the connections that widen and broaden your tentacles. It is going to be outstanding. There is a lineup like you would not believe. I have put the flyer, the promotion on the channel for us. Take a look at that promotion. Go up to the site and look for ambassadors. Hit the ambassador and register. Awesome pricing. The pricing includes the registration. It includes the food. It includes the hotel stay. The only thing you need to do is get a flight. That is how awesome this is going to be. You are going to meet hundreds of people that are all talking the same language, and that is the language of wealth. And guess what? There is absolutely everything right about that language, ladies and gentlemen. I have to tell you, I am so enthusiastic. It is an honor to be a speaker on the national circuit. I invite all of you, let's change our circles. Let's ramp up our game so that we are able to measure the results between now and 2017 this time. That's all I got to say. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to be with everybody this morning. We have the ability, the power within our hands to be extraordinary. We have the power within our hands to be awesome. How bad do we want it? Hashtag leave a legacy. With that being said, my name is Brent Harding. It has been my pleasure to be with you this morning on the Wealth Warrior broadcast. Pamela and I will see you next week, same time, same channel. Go out today and be amazing.